everyone, and welcome to Have Some Tea with Michaela E. My name is Michaela Eggers of Little Green Witch Apothecary, and I've been invited to come and talk to you today about tea. And I thought for the topic of this episode, we would do something that I like to call creativity. I know that going to the grocery store has taken on a whole new host of complications for many of us, so I wanted to look through my cupboard and my pantry and see what I had right on hand that we could turn into a beautiful handcrafted and custom blended tea. So I invite you to try this in your own cupboard and spice rack as well. The first one I want to talk to you today about is sage, right? Not just for turkey, although that's often what we think of it as. That sage is a powerful, powerful herbal ally, especially for anything that is with digestion. So it is often why we combine it with heavy meats and help us to process meat better. It also is fabulous for any type of infection in the face and particularly in the throat. It's very soothing to the throat and it helps to dry up excess fluids. So if you're having, like I am, with all the allergies and the pollen in the air, if you're having a lot of congestion or postnasal drip, sage is a wonderful plant to reach for to help heal that infection as well as dry up some of that excess fluid. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about a sage recipe. But I've got my sage, and I'm going to put a pinch into my glass jar here. And not a lot. Sage is a very powerful tasting herb, so a little bit does go a long way. I'm then going to combine it. I had some frozen fruit that was hiding out in the back of my freezer, some peaches. So I'm going to put it in with some frozen peaches. Right. And then I'm going to combine it with just a teeny bit of honey. I'm going to stick some honey in there. And this tea is going to be made in the fashion of a sun tea, which means we're going to put the lid on it, we're going to stick it in a nice, warm, sunny spot, and let it just sit there for about 1 to 3 hours to go ahead and infuse. And so sage, when we're talking about sage, it is important to note that sage is not recommended for pregnant women or lactating women, but for everybody else, it's a very common culinary herb with a great safety rating. So we've got our honey, our sage, and our peaches in our jar. Cover that up with some water. And again, you can get creative. Add whatever. If you've got raspberries, frozen raspberries would blend well with sage. If you've got chamomile is a great one to go with sage. Lemon blends well with sage. But we'll give it a shake. I'm sorry, my doorbell, right? The teleworking. So there it is. It goes into a sunny windowsill for 1 to 3 hours. The other herb I wanted to talk about is one that most of us have in our cupboards and in our pantries, is bay leaf. You know, we often think of it just for soups and stews, but bay leaf is an antioxidant wonder. In fact, of almost all the antioxidants available to us, bay leaf is one of the strongest. It's even more powerful than vitamin C. And I was reading, I'm going to look at my notes here to make sure I say it correctly. I was reading a study that showed that bay leaf has more antioxidant properties even than BHA, which is a synthetic antioxidant used to preserve food. So bay leaf is an incredible herbal ally. It helps to stabilize blood sugar. It helps to alleviate pain from arthritis because of its anti-inflammatory properties. And it combats both bacterial and viral infection. So bay is a wonderful plant to have on hand. So we're going to make an infusion, a hot infusion with bay. That I've got my bay leaves. I put about 3 or 4 of those in there. And I'm going to combine it with some lemon this time. I've got some lemon slices. So I'll plunk 2 of those in there, some bay, some lemon, and then I really like to combine bay with thyme. So I've got my thyme plant over here that I'm going to snip some off of. Got my thyme. If you don't have fresh thyme, not a problem at all. Get the dried thyme out of your pantry drawer. So combining those, right, my bay, my lemon, and my thyme, and this one we're going to do as a hot infusion. So I'm going to pour my hot water over the top of this one. And then I'm going to cover it, and this is important whenever you're making a hot infusion, is to put the lid on it so that the aromatics, the essential oils, don't escape, that they'll collect on the top and fall back down into your tea. And so this will be ready. It's a longer steep. Bay is a little bit harder. It needs to steep for about 30 minutes. But in 30 minutes, you're going to have a wonderful cup of tea. And so I invite you, take a look in your cupboard. Take a look in your pantry. What do you have? Do you have a box of black tea sitting there? Well, if you do, think about it. You could combine it with frozen blackberries. You can combine it with cinnamon and clove, for a tasty treat. If you've got some mint tea sitting in the back of your cupboard, take that mint tea and put it with another one. Well, the lemon won't go that well. Take your mint and you can combine it with your green teas. You can combine it with your chamomiles. Get creative. You have so many healing options right in your spice drawer. So I invite you to check them out. So please, go check out a book from the library, pour yourself a cup of tea, get creative, be well, stay healthy.